Welcome back to our little sessions here. This is our second to last session. And this one we're going to take a nice colorful photo like you see on your screen here. And we're going to do a nice complement of color and grayscale. And it's an assignment I do with my students, and they have a lot of fun doing it. And some of them just do a fantastic job. It's quite easy to do, quite a bit of fun. And let's get started. So first thing I want to do once I've got my photo that I want to change, open, is I'm going to duplicate it. So here you can see I've got my background. I'm going to right click and duplicate that layer. I'm going to call it grayscale. And what I'll be doing is I'm going to turn that layer into grayscale. And to do that, I'm going to click on Image, Adjustments, and Desaturate. And what desaturate will do, as you can see, is it takes away the color. And so now what I have is I've got two layers. One layer that's grayscale, one layer that's black or is color. So if I hide this one, you can see the color comes through. So the next thing I need to do is on my grayscale layer is I need to create what's called a mask. And it's going to allow me to actually bring the color from the bottom layer through. So what I do is I click on the quick mask and I go to my paintbrush. Now what I want to do is when I'm on my paintbrush, I'm just going to go to my basic brushes here and choose 65. So what this will enable me to do is kind of like an eraser. It's going to erase portions of this. And as I'm erasing, you'll see in this little white box here parts that I'm erasing. And the reason I want to use quick mask is because if I'm on black, you can see that the color from the layer below comes through. But if I switch my colors around, so now if I go back to white, I can undo that, and that will bring the, turn my opacity back up. That will bring everything back to normal. So if I have been trying to bring some color through, and I've gone over, so I'm going to bring this marble part back into color. And if I've gone onto their legs here, I can always just change my foreground color to white, and that'll undo anything. So let's give this a quick try here. And I'm going to, as I said, bring back the color on the bottom here. Okay, so there you see I got Spider-Man's toe. So we'll go back and we'll fix that. I want his toe to be gray. Alright, so there's a good start. So now what I want to do is, like I said, I want to get rid of that color that I put on Spider-Man's toe. So I'm going to zoom right in on his foot. I'm going to switch to white. Go back to my paintbrush. I'm going to adjust my paintbrush size so it's quite a bit smaller. And then I will undo the color that I did. Alright, so now we'll zoom back out. So now you can see his foot is back to grayscale. So then I can also use my magnifying glass, and I can, so I want to zoom in here, go back to my paintbrush, and then I can start to color in here. Now I'm on, my hardness is 0 right now, so I'm going to turn it right up so I can have a nice crisp line. So I can kind of click and get in there as close as I can. And one thing I can do, if I need to with my paintbrush, is I can get a square brush. So if I need to get into a square region, like I do in here, I can choose a square brush. So that'll make corners a little bit easier for me. Now I'll just do this little region so I don't bore you guys to tears. But it's a lot of fun to do. Kids have a great time doing this sort of job. And you want to get a nice complement of color. So what I'll do is I'll just choose one of these characters right here to bring back. So let's zoom in on this gentleman right here. And it's quite pixelated, which is perfect. I'll go back to my brush here. And I want to go back to my round brushes. So I'll go to my basic brushes. Choose a size 13. How's that? That's pretty good. Alright, so let's see what that looks like. Fit screen. Alright, so there's that blue person that I was just bringing back. So it's nice to go through something like this and get a nice complement of color with the grayscale. So I'd choose, about 10 people throughout here and have this nice and colorful at the bottom. And that's all there is to it. That's using what's called Quick Mask, and it's a very effective way to do this sort of skill. And we'll also be using it in our final tutorial coming up, which I call Photoshopping. All right, hope you've enjoyed this. Hope it's useful to you. Thanks so much.